Happy Wednesday, you guys, and welcome back to Social Bee with GT. Today we're going to be covering the hottest topic that I've been seeing lately being debated on Twitter and Instagram, and that is whether or not people should be on Instagram stories or Snapchat stories. Some people are just finding it a little bit overwhelming to be on both, so today I'm going to be answering that question and letting you guys know which one you guys should be on. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. So, ever since Instagram came out with Instagram stories, it's been the biggest debate on whether or not it is the cheap version of Snapchat. Which one is better? Which one should people be on? Should I leave Snapchat? Should I not do Instagram stories? Like, people just don't know what to do, and it's just the biggest debate that's been going on ever since Instagram did launch Instagram stories. So in today's video, I will be covering the similarities that both of the stories have, the pros and cons of both, and which one is better and which one you should be on. Let's start with the similarities that both stories have. Number one, they both have that story concept where it's a compilation of 10-second videos and photos. Both only last for 24 hours and then they're gone forever. There's filters, you can doodle on them, you can add your location, and that pretty much sums up the similarities between both. Now, let's touch on Instagram story. Number one thing that is awesome about Instagram story is it keeps you relevant on Instagram within the cluster of accounts that are on there these days. If you guys notice, when you post an Instagram story, you are actually at the top of the newsfeed, which is a great way to keep people seeing your account. Another great thing about Instagram stories is it shows the real you. I've mentioned this many times before that people really love seeing realness and authenticity in people. So this is a great way to show people you're a real human behind these pictures. You're not just a selfie or anything like that. So it's a great way to show people a day in your life, behind the scenes of an event, behind the scenes of the production of a product, or the behind the scenes of a post that you just made. Number three, it is a perfect way to drive traffic to your last post, to a YouTube channel, to a YouTube video, to your Twitter, to your Snapchat, to your website, to a blog, anything that you really want people to go check out. It is a great way to give people that quick news flash that, hey, check out this new YouTube video that I just uploaded, direct link is in my bio. Another great thing touching on this topic is that verified accounts, in case you guys have or have not noticed, are actually able to add the swipe up feature where it makes it really easy for the consumer to just swipe up and immediately it just takes you to that blog or to that video or to that website, whatever it may be. So that's an amazing feature that I hope Instagram allows everybody to do soon. I think they're just running a few tests by allowing verified accounts to do it first and just seeing how it performs from there, but I would definitely love to see it happen for all accounts. So another great thing touching on the idea where you're able to drive traffic to another social media platform is that you can actually put the username on, and then when you post a story, people can actually click on that username and it will take them straight to that social media handle. So if you're wanting to support a sponsor or a person that you admire, or you just want to support another company, it is a great way to lead traffic to that account through the new feature. Another pro to Instagram story that a lot of people are noticing is that they are getting more views on Instagram story versus Snapchat. But I want you guys to think about something. Is this necessarily better? I'll touch on this a little bit later when I talk about Snapchat. Another great feature of Instagram story is that there's a hands-free mode, there's boomerang, and there's also live. All three features when it comes to Instagram story is great to do tutorials, and then again, being able to connect on a more personal level by doing that live. People can ask you questions, people can join in on the conversation or whatever it may be. It's just another way to really connect with your audience. So those are all the pros when it comes to Instagram story. Just like everything in life, where there are pros, there are also cons. So one of the cons when it comes to Instagram story is you can't really track the engagement of your Instagram stories. You can certainly see who sees them all and how many people see them all, but you can't really tell if people are snapshotting it or if people are really going to check out that link that you guys are talking about. Like I said, if you guys don't have a verified account, we don't have that swipe up action, so we're really just hoping people will listen to what we're saying and go check out that link. So, like I said, because we don't know if people snapshot the information or if people are actually going to that link, it's kind of hard to say if people are really listening to our calls to actions through our Instagram stories. So overall, it's just hard to track engagement. So, I mean, you may be seeing a lot of views, but if the engagement isn't really there, then you can't really gauge how great these Instagram stories are doing. Another con is that you are fighting literally millions of accounts on Instagram to get your story noticed. As of January, there are 600 million monthly users on Instagram. That is an insane number. So, with that said, not only is there 600 million monthly users, there are also many accounts when it comes to certain niches. And in your niche alone, you are fighting to get the attention of such a big audience. So, that's a quick summary of Instagram. Now, let's move on to Snapchat. Unlike Instagram story, it is very easily measurable to see which snaps your audience are engaging in by seeing how many of them snapshot which ones. So a lot of people will have that call to action and say, snapshot this next snap if you guys want to get the link to this product. So if you got a lot of snapshots on that, obviously people enjoy when you let them know about this and that. So then obviously that gives you a better idea of what you should be snapping and stuff like that. So it makes it a little bit easier for you to kind of gauge what's working and what's not working. Snapchat has very loyal followers. Snapchat's sole purpose since the beginning has been to provide stories, 10-second stories, whether it's through video or pictures. That's all people are there for. People are intentionally following you on Snapchat because they just want to see your story. They don't know what it's about because there's no picture that goes with it beforehand. Like on Instagram, we obviously see a picture on your feed, and sometimes we kind of have an idea of what your Instagram story is going to be about. But for Snapchat, people literally have no idea what you're going to be posting that day, but they are following you because they just want to see whatever you're posting. So for Snapchat, you have some pretty loyal followers, so appreciate them. Another pro to Snapchat is the geo filter. You can actually create a custom geo filter, which is great for businesses because if there's an event going on, you can set that geo filter to be available to a certain radius within your location, and then when people snap and then swipe left to see all the geo filters, yours will come up and it can kind of intrigue them as to, oh, what's this about? Or, oh, what's this geo filter for? And that's another great way to drive traffic to said event or whatever it is. And obviously the face recognition filters, everyone loves the classic dog filter, the flower crown, or those silly faces that you can make. So Snapchat is a great way to really be a little bit goofy and a little bit silly and just very personable with people. So those are the main pros to Snapchat that a lot of people are on Snapchat for. Now let's get into the cons. One of the cons to Snapchat is that yes, you do have a lot less followers on Snapchat versus what you may have on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that. But as previously mentioned, they are all loyal followers. So this can be seen as a con when you look at it on paper, but it could also not matter at all. And of course, Snapchat, you can't do as much as Instagram stories, like the swipe up action or tag other accounts for people to go check out right away, or add a location and people can tap on that location and see who else is in that location. So that's Snapchat. So with that being said, as you guys can see, there are many pros and cons to both social media handles. Now, let's get to the answer of this question. How do we use both, and should we use both, and why or why not? I say you should use both. I know a lot of people will say that it's a lot of work, but I promise you, it's a great way to reach to your audience. These are my tips as to how you should be using both without feeling overwhelmed and posting the exact same content on both. Like I previously mentioned in my which social media handles you should be on, which I'll link right up here, you shouldn't be sharing the exact same information on all your social media handles. Now I see a lot of people saving their snaps, adding it to their Instagram story, and I'm not saying you shouldn't add any of your snaps to your Instagram story. It's certainly a great way to show people a sneak peek of what's going on in your Snapchat, but you definitely don't want to be uploading your entire Snapchat story onto your Instagram story because then it just doesn't make sense for people to follow your Snapchat. I know personally for me, when people are posting the same things on Instagram story and Snapchat, I know to not even look at their Snapchat because I'm like, you already posted on Instagram story, so why am I going to sit here and spend 2 to 5 minutes scrolling through your story that I already saw? So, to do this properly, on Instagram story, you just want to upload the highlights of a certain topic or an event or whatever it may be. And then you want to direct them to Snapchat to see all the details. What is up, you guys? Long time no Instagram story. Right now I am filming the Instagram story versus Snapchat video. Make sure to check out my Snapchat so you guys can see some behind the scenes of this video. So I just recorded this Instagram story to post on my fitness Instagram channel. So I'm just gonna upload that on my story. I'm going to take a quick snapshot of my snap code. And then now on Snapchat, I'm just gonna take a picture of you guys and show that I'm doing it behind the scenes. So I'm not saying not to upload any behind the scenes on Instagram story, but I would keep the majority of it on Snapchat. Again, just giving your audience a reason to go to your Snapchat. And then, like I previously mentioned, with the feature of being able to tag other accounts, I would use Instagram to show support or show love to other accounts that you want to drive traffic to, because it's just so easy to add another account and then people just click that name and they can go straight to that account. Or if you bought something and you want to say it's from so-and-so, it's easy to add the company and then they could check out that company, find the product. Another way that I would be using these social media handles is on Instagram story. I would be sure to be using your Instagram stories as a way to remind people that you just posted something, or again, that something just went live, or you just uploaded something on your website or something like that. Because when you are posting just an Instagram photo or video, like on your actual feed, due to the algorithm on Instagram, sometimes people don't see that. So if people don't see that, they're not gonna know that you did such and such. Definitely when it comes to the big announcement, when you upload something on one of your other platforms, or if you just made a big announcement about an event you'll be at, or that you're hosting or something like that, or a new product launch, you definitely want to be sharing it on all of your social media platforms because you want to bring in as much audience as you can, so that's totally fine to be posting big announcements on both. I would definitely recommend keeping your Instagram stories to no more than 10 of those tabs at the top. When people see all those tabs at the top and they see that there's like so many little ones, they're most likely not going to stick around all the way to the end. I guarantee you guys, if you look at all of the views on your Instagram stories, you'll notice that the number decreases with every single story because people are most likely tuning out if they're too long. So definitely I would say keep it to 10 or less. Snapchat on the other hand, like I said, people are there because they know they're gonna sit through a story that may be anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, and people don't mind that because that's why they're there. Like I said a few times in this video already, keep most of your content on Snapchat because people are there for all of that content and they're ready for it. Where Instagram, people have Instagram stories, people have the new swipe to the left feature, people have pictures, videos, everything. People just have so many things to go through on Instagram that sometimes your Instagram story is not one of them that they want to sit through for the whole time. So like I said, I would keep it to as little as possible. For me personally, I kind of just save it for those big announcements, or I feel that something that I just posted is really valuable and I really want people to check it out. That's kind of what I save my Instagram stories for, and less of the I just ate this, I just did that kind of thing. I kind of save that more for Snapchat. So I know I mentioned in my previous video that the Snapchat demographic is much younger. This is true. However, if you're already on Snapchat and it continues to grow and gain some followers, definitely take the time to provide content on there for those who took the time to find you and follow you and sit through all your stories. Alright, so that was quite a bit of information. I hope this answered you guys' question as to whether or not you should be on Instagram stories or Snapchat. In case the answer wasn't very clear, you should be on both of them. However, you should be distributing a certain amount of time to each so that it's not overwhelming, but it's effective. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you guys did. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you aren't already so you guys don't miss out on next Wednesday's video. And for more up-to-date things, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. That is where I'll be posting updates or asking you guys on some input on some certain topics that I want to talk about, all that good stuff. And until next Wednesday, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.